The Prime Minister is being urged to explain his relationship with multi-millionaire donor Lord Ali after new claims emerged. The businessman was closely involved in the Labour Party's preparations for power. We're joined now by the Transport Secretary Louise Haigh. We'll come to that in a moment, but Louise Haigh, I think you're making a new announcement today, a preview of the budget at the end of the month. The new HS2 line from Birmingham is not going to stop now in some North London suburb, is that right?
No, I'm not making that announcement today, Ed. Nice try. I've always been clear that Euston was going to be part of the picture for HS2. It would never have made any sense for the high-speed line to go between Old Oak Common and Birmingham, but an announcement will be made in the proper way about how Euston is treated in the future. But look, the previous government made left HS2 in a terrible
You are
mess.
confirming that it is going to go to Euston, then?
Well, I've said that previously, that Euston was always going to be part of the plan. It was left as part of the plan by the previous Tory government, but they have left us with a remarkable mess in HS2, spending £66 billion on a high-speed line that will actually make the existing capacity problem on the West Coast main line worse north of Birmingham. So they've left us with an enormous bill and a sorry mess that we're having to pick up now, and we'll be making a number of announcements around HS2 and how it's going to be treated in the future.
That in the budget you're going to announce HS2 is going to go to Euston?
No, I'm not confirming that today.
Yeah, but I think you are.
We'll be making an announcement shortly on how HS2 is going to be treated in the future.
OK.
But you're confirming that it's your plan that it should go to Euston. It's always been your plan.
Louise, just confirm it. We all know what's going on here. It's going to Euston.
It's a good try, guys. But I have always been clear that Euston is part of the plan for HS2. It was part of the previous government's plan, but we need to make an announcement soon about exactly how it will be treated and how we'll get there.
OK, I think that viewers can draw their own conclusion from that particular discussion. There are more and other serious issues to discuss with you. We've got this story about the fact that Sue Gray has gone, replaced by a man, we understand, as Kier Starmer's Chief of Staff. Previously, Rosie Duffield resigned as a Labour MP, although she remains an MP, was asked whether he has a woman problem and confirmed that she believed there was an issue there. And we have this story in the Times this morning. Another senior figure said that the treatment of Sue Gray by staff in Number 10 had resulted in at least one senior woman deciding not to apply for the job of Cabinet Secretary. You are a very senior woman in the government. Does the Prime Minister have a woman problem?
Well, exactly, Susanna. I am a senior woman in the Cabinet, and I sit in front of you as the youngest ever woman to serve in any British Cabinet. We have the first female Chancellor. We have a female Deputy Prime Minister. We're gender balanced as a Cabinet, and we have more women Labour MPs than the Tories have MPs in total. So I just don't recognise those characterisations at all. There are a lot of feisty women around that Cabinet table who, as I'm sure you will appreciate, absolutely make their voices heard and their views known. You
say in your experience he doesn't, but does he have a donor problem? Because we have this issue, don't we, that Lord Ali, who we know is a multi-millionaire Labour donor, questions this morning over how much he is involved in the run-up to the general election, claims that he worked on designing the official grid of announcements and events for the first 100 days in power, helped design the organisational structure for Starmer's team of special advisors. Would that be appropriate for a Labour donor to have that much influence in the management?
Well, I don't recognise these remarks. I genuinely don't know how much Lord Ali was involved in those decisions. But Lord Ali is a politician in his own right, as well as being a donor. And I think it's really important that we do separate those out, because he wasn't made. He wasn't placed in the House of Lords or became a politician as a donor. He has long been a Labour Party member, long been involved in the Labour Party, and he separately has donated to lots of Labour politicians in order to help the Labour Party win elections, as many of us do. I donate to the Labour Party in some serious sums as well over the years.
Yeah, but you have an official job in government, Louise Haigh. Does Lord Ali have an official job
Lord
government?
Ali is a Labour peer, but these are allegations
But he's not a
that have been.
minister.
No, he's not a minister, and he's not a formal advisor.
No, he's
but
a
these
donor.
were. Yeah, and he doesn't have a job in government, and he's not been advising the government in an official capacity, as far as I'm concerned. But these allegations, I don't recognise where they came from, and I don't recognise them. I genuinely don't know or think that he was involved in those conversations or decisions.
Can I take you back to something which is squarely one of your responsibilities as Transport Secretary? We had two pensioners on the programme yesterday, very upset, as many of our viewers are, about the removal of the winter fuel allowance from lots of pensioners. There were three benefits which went to all pensioners 10 years ago. Free TV licences, which George Osborne took away via the BBC. The winter fuel allowance, which Rachel Reeves is now taking away from many pensioners. And free bus travel for all pensioners, which is your responsibility. Can you confirm for our viewers that while you're the Transport Secretary, free bus travel will continue for all pensioners?
We have absolutely no plans to remove the concessionary bus travel for pensioners. It's my job and absolutely my priority to reverse the last 40 years of decline in bus passenger numbers since we saw privatisation and deregulation in the 1980s. That's why we've already extended London-style powers to the rest of England so that every community can take back control of their bus services. And it's my vision that everyone should enjoy the same kind of quality public transport that Londoners do, because for too long outside London in areas like I represent, they've experienced poor quality, poor reliable and very poorly reliable bus services, and that has driven people into their cars, into taxis, or frankly being isolated and stuck at home. So, as I say, we want to make bus travel more reliable, more accessible, and we want to reverse the 40 years of decline that we've seen in bus passenger numbers.
I think the concern our viewers will have is that if I'd asked you that question a month before the election, you'd have said that you had no plans to remove the winter fuel allowance. It wasn't in the manifesto, and now it's going for most pensioners. So I know there's no plans, but more than that, while you're Transport Secretary, is free bus travel for all pensioners going to remain?
I will always work to protect bus passengers and bus fares, and I can absolutely assure your viewers that concessionary bus travel will remain.
OK, so that, because sometimes you hear we have no plans, that's not on the table, we're going to wait for an announcement. We've heard all of those phrases through this interview. But you can confirm this morning to our viewers that pensioners will hang on to their free bus pass.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Throughout this Parliament?
Well, look, I can't confirm that I'll be Transport Secretary throughout this Parliament, so I don't think that's fair to hang around me.
So just
but
while you are
I can confirm to you that
Secretary.
I will protect the concessionary bus travel.
All right. Louise Haigh, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Indeed.
Indeed.